FreshPod is created for industry professionals and is intended for educational purposes only. This content is not designed for patients or consumers.
In terms of talking about being more confidently niche in what you do and what you offer, how have you seen that not only benefit your business, but also your patient?
In a few different ways. We get returning customers, so that's obviously something really good for us. But for them, they build that extra bit of trust in us. They see, because they keep coming back to us, they see the change, they see the results. It's really easy to go get a treatment done and to not really notice the results because maybe you haven't taken a photo, maybe you haven't, kept track of the changes, but they'll come back to us and they'll be like, oh, I don't really notice a difference. And we'll show them from when they first came in, this is what you used to look like to now. And it builds that trust that they're getting what they're paying for. They're getting the best that they can possibly get. We often remind them that we are nurses. We are here to improve things in their lives. That's why we went to uni. We didn't do it for money. We didn't do it for, anything except for helping other people. So that's, it intertwines itself into what we give to our patients.
Welcome back to FreshPod, your go-to space for clear guidance and community support, brought to you by Fresh Clinics. I'm Loz McGlynn, and as always, I'm joined by Fresh co-founder and medical director, Dr. John Delaney.
Hi everyone. At Fresh, our mission is to empower healthcare practitioners and clinic owners with both clinical and business excellence. Every episode of Fresh Pod is here to give you practical, actionable insights that you can actually take away and apply tomorrow.
In this episode, we're diving into a topic that comes up all the time in our community. Do you need to treat everyone to run a successful business? Or could narrowing down your focus actually be the key to growth? In our latest member pulse survey, nearly 50% of respondents said patient acquisition and marketing are their biggest challenges, which tells us one thing: clarity and focus matter now more than ever.
That's why we're excited to welcome today's guest, Kia, founder of Blume Aesthetics. Kia has built a reputation for being hyper-intentional with her brand and patient strategy and her community partnerships. She's living proof that sometimes less really does equal more.
Let's get into it.
So Kia, thank you for being here. Kia just commented on my shirt, which blends in almost perfectly with the couch. If you're watching this podcast, I'm not just a floating head. But thanks for being here. We're recording in Brisbane today as part of the Fresh Life conference, which I'm thrilled that you've attended. You've come from Perth, where your clinic is a great success. Your clinic is Blume Aesthetics. Can you describe to us, how do you find the type of patient, and I suppose it's that blend of it's a customer and a patient when you're looking to acquire someone, how do you find that patient's just right for Blume Aesthetics?
Well, thanks for having me, guys. And talking about shirts, my dad always said blue and green must never be seen. So
without a colour in between.
Well, there's no colour in between. So Blume Aesthetics is my business in Perth. So I wouldn't say we pick or select our patients. I think we portray our services and our selection and our offerings in a way that those patients choose us. So they want what we can offer. We have a variety of different nurses who, in my opinion, don't stick to your cookie cutter injector in a sense. So I think by selecting treatments that we can, without using the word specialize in, we get patients to come to us wanting what we have to offer.
You identify what you want to be really good at. Then by being really good at that, you attract people who want that, and it sort of naturally narrows that selection of people. And do you find that that's been beneficial for your business? I mean, it clearly has, because you've got such a great clinic and we've been privileged to be a partner of yours for a long time. Do you find that as a strategy has been a bit of a mechanism for success?
Yeah, I could probably give you an example of what I'm talking about. So say, for example, Fiona and I are both theatre nurses or ex-theatre nurses. So we have really good insight of anatomy and we're very open about our knowledge and we're very forward about that. I had a patient who needed someone who knew a lot about anatomy. She'd had previous surgeries, things like that. So she sought out someone who she knew was going to care for her in that manner. So I like to think that what we can provide is what's bringing that in, and it has built our integrity. People trust what we can do, and because we don't offer everything, we niche every little treatment we do, we are the best at.
Yeah.
So we know exactly what we're offering. We can answer any question about it. We know if you're the right patient for that treatment. And we will say no to people if they've come in wanting something that's not for them.
Have you found that has naturally turned into a particular patient demographic or patient type? Like you talk about like the niche of the services, but have you found that you attract a certain consistent type of patient?
Yeah, so not to sound cliche, but people who come or patients who come in, they're looking for quality rather than quantity. So they're not necessarily looking for the cheapest treatment. They're not shopping around. They're going for that quality and what they can see coming back and actually satisfying their needs. We are a boutique clinic, I guess you could say. So we're not about buy this quantity for this, pay this much for 1 mil of filler. It's come in, we'll assess you, we'll do, some balancing, things like that. And we get a lot of returning clients from that.
Yeah. I think for people that are particularly starting their businesses, it can feel like I need to offer everything to attract everybody because there's perhaps not that confidence built in both them potentially as an injector, but also as a business owner. For people that fear being super selective and having that confidence to be a bit more niche, in your experience, what would you say to somebody who is, feeling maybe overwhelmed by wanting to have all the treatments and all the services and not knowing how to pull back?
I like to use an examples for this sort of scenario in the world of nursing, in the world of doctors as well, in that we specialize in a field, right? So like I said earlier, I'm an ex-theatre nurse. I lived, breathed, loved theatre. I knew everything about it, all the specialties within theatre. But if you got me to go onto the ward, it would take me a while. I'd learn those new skills, but I would lose a lot of skills. I would lose a lot. My brain can only hold so much. So I think of it if we offer a lot, we can't be the best of everything. I won't know everything about this chemical peel. I won't know everything about this type of product. My nurses get to play around with different types of products that we offer for treatments. They get to, I guess, pick what works best for them to get the best outcomes. I let them choose whatever brand they want. You want to play around with a syringe of XYZ, then sure, we'll get that in and see if you like it. Do you like it? Yep, cool, we'll stock that now, Fresh lets us sort of have the ability to provide that in the products we have. And that is as well how we get such good results, because the nurses are using what works for them and what works best with their patients.
With confidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about, so when you started Care, was it a similar approach that you had, or have you built into that? Because there might be someone out there listening to this who thinks, well, that's all well and good for you, Care. You've got a really big, you've got a thriving business and you can afford to be more selective, but I've kind of got to take it where I can get it. How did you, when you started, how did you find that niche for yourself and the things that you were passionate about and that you wanted to be good at?
So yeah, I did. I started off small. We've expanded, in the last few years, but I stuck with what worked and what was results driven. I'm very hands-on. I like to have practical things in front of me. You give me a product, I'll research it, I'll know the ins and outs of it, and then I'll try it and it will work. And I love that. I think for people who are starting small, wanting to grow, you need to do your learning. You need to know what you're offering. You need to know the depths of what you're offering, why you're offering it. We get thrown 1,000,001 questions by patients, why this instead of that? I think that's a really big thing that I see in the industry is people go, what's the difference between this and that? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, it's kind of the same, but why is that price different to that? Well, because it actually costs us more, So I can confidently say, when you come in with this concern, this is why, this is what works for me. I've seen it. Here's my before and afters, things like that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I can't help but think of the analogy of those restaurants you go to, which has got like pizza and Mexican and Chinese and all the things on the menu, and you're like, you're not doing any of this well, right? And you go to one place that's just focused and dedicated to delivering their craft really well, you're going to get a better result. Somehow that kind of analogy resonates with me.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's places out there that can nail everything.
Yeah.
But I think that's just my personal journey, and the nurses that I've hired, I think they really respect that I can then pass on my knowledge. Like I said, I leave it open for them to explore as well, but often they will come back to what.
And there's no shortage of temptation in the form of the shiny and the new, right? And there's reps knocking on the door every day of the week, and there's a new product launch and a new conference and all those sorts of things. So to take your point around taking a minute, learning about it, deciding if it's right for you, trialing it out. Like, don't rush to get it in a patient before you actually know what you're talking about and that you're confident that you want to use it.
Another episode that we did with another amazing fresh member, Heidi Bryant, she spoke about expanding her business and what that meant for her and what she did, and confidently asking questions. Like, be okay to ask and also to say no, or to be like, that's not right for me. Like, it's in your business.
Talking to the reps.
When you're talking to the reps, it's in your best interest as a business owner for not only yourself but your patients, that if it doesn't feel like the right fit, whether it not be right now and maybe down the track, like, it's okay to say no. A bit in the way when we talk, when members talk about consultations and saying no to patients when you don't believe it's not the right treatment potentially for them. Fresh Clinics is your trusted partner in building a thriving aesthetic business. From compliance and medical oversight to training, marketing tools, and business growth, we're here to support you at every stage. Explore more at freshclinics.com. In terms of trying to market yourself, because there is so many different strategies, and there's also so many different channels that may not fit for all patient demographics. For yourself, when you felt really strongly about your patient niche and what you offered, how did you decide what marketing strategies you then implemented for your business?
So I think the marketing strategy we went was to probably explore people that aren't necessarily looking for something, right? So we went a little bit bigger than what we initially thought we were going to in terms of our marketing. And it was to probably get people in who, our sign, we have billboards. Our billboard might sort of catch someone's eye because it might resonate with them and resonate with what we offer. So, we offer a luxurious boutique experience for our patients where they come in and they get personalized treatments, right? If you look at our advertising, that's what you feel when you see that. And that's what captures you into thinking, I'm just going to explore that and have a look. So a bit more on what we sort of have done for our marketing, which I highly recommend for anyone trying to expand, is we first started with just a social media manager. So fortunately, I don't have to do any of my social media, thank goodness. And she's amazing. She's taken us from 0 to 100. But not only do we have the social media stuff, we have out-of-home advertising. So we do billboards, bus backs, we have radio ads, we have all these sorts of things. So I guess through expanding, we can also bring in new clients that maybe aren't our usual type, but are here to sort of explore. We get a lot of people who have never had anything done before, so then they can fall into our niche, and we can, like I said, they're reaching out to us because they want us, not because we want them. That makes sense.
They've got some curiosity that you've sparked.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get much help with the other types of advertising? You mentioned your social media manager, but do you have an agency or do that?
So we have a broker. So I can't forget to mention my husband is a quiet person on the side who helps me. So he has his own job, but he likes to have a lot of input, especially with the marketing stuff.
Great.
So he's organised us a broker, and our broker goes out and he searches Perth and goes, these are your billboards. This is the cost. He gives us a report and says, this is what you should be doing. My husband's even more curious where he'll go, I want that. So in Western Australia, our amazing coast, we have a really beautiful walk that you can walk along the coast, and there's a lot of like bus seats looking things, and he always explains it's always real estate agents on the back seats, right?
Yeah.
My husband's like, no one wants to see the real estate agents. So we have created this beautiful, there's these 3 seats overlooking the ocean. It's beautiful. And we have had someone create us our sort of ads on the back of there, and a lot of our clients do their little morning hot girl walks along the coast with their coffees, and they see it and they take a photo and they share it. And that even in itself is, I guess, smart marketing.
When they come into the clinic, do you ask those questions? How did you find out about us and so on? Like, how do you track your investment return?
But you'd be surprised. Almost everybody will tell us how. Our out-of-home advertising, our social media, and our Google reviews.
Yeah.
Our Google reviews have been, I'm not sure how things will change with the regulations, but it has been amazing because they can state specific nurses' names.
Yes.
So then that person who's not a customer of ours goes, Nurse Fiona, this patient came in for, they're explaining their journey. I came in for this, and this with Nurse Fiona. She took care of me. I felt like I was going to be out of place because I'm a mature person, blah, 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 because Fiona really attracts mature age.
And they can talk about their service experience and how much they enjoyed the clinic and so on. Yeah.
It is interesting. We've seen this shift back into traditional marketing channels. Everyone, obviously, Instagram is massive, and it is a place that you feel like you have to be in, which is true. But it is, we have an awesome marketing team that we work with external to us, Basic Bananas. And Franziska talks a lot around traditional marketing sort of having its comeback. And when you were talking about buses and like the bench seats, it's really smart and strategic, certainly in regional areas around, where I'm from as well. I've seen that start to pop up, which is...
It's also that like blue ocean, red ocean thing, right? Like if everyone's on social media, it's harder to stand out. But like you say, there's no one else there on that coastal walk, and you've got lots of likely clients walking past.
It's quite obnoxious, right? Like we think of it as quite obnoxious in a sense that we can even strategically place these in that where our competition are. Big billboard, know. So
billboards do have some of that prestige, if in the right location and presented. They're big, they're bold, they do big movie releases and stuff like that on them, right? So
it brings a bit of brand awareness and it builds our brand. It actually makes us look a bit bigger than we are as well. So I think a lot of people think that there's only, 4 nurses. I thought,
You've talked a little bit about how setting your intentions as a business and as an operator early allowed you to know what you wanted to be good at. That then it sort of led to a certain type of client being attracted to you, and the inverse of that being a certain client wasn't kind of right for you. That then leads to, well, this is how we then know where to market and how to get to our patients, our prospective patients. Does that then lead you to think, well, I know these prospective patients are involved in this particular community or frequent this other business? Do you collaborate with other businesses and work in your local community in that way to attract the right type of patient?
A few different businesses we have. Probably one that comes to my mind, first of all, there's actually a gym that's quite close to our clinic. And a lot of our clients were already coming from the gym, just friends of friends, word of mouth. And this gym is, they collaborate with the IFBB Pro bodybuilding competitions. So we thought, well, it would be a wise step for our business to sponsor the games. And what that did for us, not only does one of our nurses, Amber, she competed in it, so it kind of looked like we were backing our nurse, it also encouraged a lot of the athletes who were competing to come to us because we have I myself have quite an interest in helping them, their bodies, their faces, everything changes throughout that journey of them in their bodybuilding stages. They go through a build. So I go, well, we're probably not going to do any sorts of fillers in your build. We're not going to do these sorts of things. We're going to wait for you to lean out and cut out a little bit more. We can keep up with, relaxers and stuff like that early on, but we're going to need to do that again because your metabolism, blah, blah, blah. So I think collaborating with the gym and with this society and the bodybuilding society, that's built trust within them. So of course, it's the usual, our logos in the shows, but it gets people to be like, oh, why are you going there for your face? And, our clients will be like, oh, because, she's helped me for my prep,
Yeah. Then the niche that your clinic serves isn't just a niche based on a treatment type that you support, but also you start to understand a community more deeply, a particular community, and that leads to a tight referral network. And in your case, this bodybuilding community.
Yeah.
You know more about their journey and their particular needs. So therefore that drives more business.
And fortunately for us, bodybuilders metabolize everything very fast.
Totally. Yeah.
Love it.
From a financial point of view, it's obviously, not good for them, but
Yeah, no, totally. And it's a nice collaboration between the physical aesthetic and the medical aesthetic.
Yeah, and for them, it's another one of those things. You can see the difference significantly immediately. They're so, say for example, they're so lean through their face. You can add volume, see it straight away, and it turns them from looking sick and gaunt to just alive.
Yeah,
it's cool.
In terms of talking about being more confidently niche in what you do and what you offer, how have you seen that not only benefit your business, but also your patient?
In a few different ways. We get returning customers, so that's obviously something really good for us. But for them, they build that extra bit of trust in us. They see, because they keep coming back to us, they see the change, they see the results. It's really easy to go get a treatment done and to not really notice the results because maybe you haven't taken a photo, maybe you haven't, kept track of the changes, but they'll come back to us and they'll be like, oh, I don't really notice a difference. And we'll show them from when they first came in, this is what you used to look like to now. And it builds that trust that, they're getting what they're paying for. They're getting the best that they can possibly get. We often remind them that we are nurses. We are here to improve things in their lives. That's why we went to uni. We didn't do it for money. We didn't do it for, anything except for helping other people. So that's, it intertwines itself into what we give to our patients.
So that continuity of care and being able to, because people forget when they start getting treatments, they very quickly forget. But if you've got a high patient retention and they're coming back and you're really supporting them on that treatment journey, you can take a minute to go, look what we've done together. And that's really impactful and powerful, which is awesome and rewarding. We talk all the time about why nurses are so amazing in this space, and because everybody's nurturing and patient centric, and you really care about your patients. And
it's
their
a purpose-driven profession.
Yeah,
right. It's something that people come into for that meaning and that purpose.
Yeah.
And as we move through our careers and find different ways to find that purpose, aesthetics, cosmetics is no different, right? We still want to see good outcomes for our patients. We still care.
And I think as a nurse, we don't often get the autonomy that we do get in cosmetics. So nurses get to make a plan. We get to sit down with our patients and go, right, what's your concern? Okay, well, this is what we're going to do today. This is why we're going to do it. This is what it's going to, do for you.
The fact that the patient base that comes and sees you, they're not looking for, highest volume, lowest cost. That's not what they're after. And is it true then to say that strategy of really catering deeply to a niche, to a community, allows you to deliver more value for them, therefore you can maintain a good margin because you've got patients that are achieving really good value, they're coming back regularly? Is it healthy for your cash flow? Is it healthy for your P&L?
It's interesting you say that, actually. Something we've discovered, probably Fiona and I more so because she's been with me for the last 18 months, the beauty of a follow-up consultation and scheduling that in, whether it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks after any treatment, follow-up appointments. We've had this little discussion in our original appointment with our regular patients and said, you know what would be really cool? Maybe next time you're in, we'll do X, Y, Z. Come to their follow-up appointment and they go, hey, you remember what we said about that last time? Do you have time today to do that? So we've really noticed that if we keep getting people just in the door, just get them back in the door, we can make that conversion. We now know that maybe a 15-minute follow-up is not enough. We should extend ourselves. And that being said, a lot of our appointment times are probably longer than they need to be. And I think a lot of our patients respect that. Our nurses are never rushed. They never feel like, oh no, I can't do what my patient needs because I don't have the time. And that is the same with a follow-up. So we kind of laugh about it because I was always so late. I shouldn't say lazy. I was not very good at setting, follow-up appointments for regular clients who I know would cancel it anyway. Now it's like, no, we're going to do it, and it can impact, our financial margins just in that sense.
And if they cancel it, they cancel it. But if it's in there, there's a percentage that are going to come. And it's so important to maintain that continuity. And we've spoken about it on another episode of this podcast, but the ability for patients to just have time with a healthcare practitioner who can understand their particular needs, it's reasonably rare. I mean, working in theatres, it's pretty uncommon. It's certainly uncommon at a doctor level. And I know nurses, although they can sometimes have more time with the patient. In the parenting parlance, it's often not quality time, right? It's rushed. You've got 1,000 things to do. But in the clinic, in the aesthetic clinic and the med spa, patients can luxuriate in having a healthcare practitioner who's an expert in their field, really understand their issues. I think that's something to celebrate that we do really well in this industry.
Yeah, and that's actually feedback we get all the time. Don't feel rushed, or feedback we get maybe from new clients saying, I've left my last place. I felt so rushed that the nurse was frazzled, or I wasn't getting what I needed. I wasn't getting heard. And you can understand that. And if you're in a time pressure space as an employee, you are going to feel like you're giving that energy back to your client, So I think ours really respect that. And honestly, it doesn't affect finances. It doesn't. The more time they spend in, the more money they spend because they're trusting, they're respecting.
Oh, and I think the other point is it's just a more enjoyable place to work. If you're under time pressure, that kind of sucks. And like work gets busy and everyone gets under pressure. But if the culture of your clinic, and it sounds like it is one that allows for that time, that just makes it a better place to work. Your employees stay longer, your patients are more likely to come back. It seems like it's a virtuous cycle.
We joke about it. I got asked one time, what's your staff turnover like? And I was like, well, I'm yet to find out. I haven't had anyone leave me yet. So I get told it's a nice place to work. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Kia, this has been an awesome conversation. Thank you so much for your time and your insights. We've got one more question, and that is for someone listening who might feel like they're a bit diluted in their offering and their services because they thought they needed to have everything, or, they're not sure how to niche down. What would be one piece of advice you would give someone looking at the business?
One piece.
It can be 2, it can be 3. What comes to mind?
No more than 3 though.
Yeah.
Draw the line.
Cap at 3.
Like I said earlier, it's getting what you know best and what works best for you and your clients. That's probably number one. We are a business after all, so you do need to find what's worth your time. I say this time and time again. We are healthcare professionals, and we are offering services that come with, a lot of training behind us. And if you're offering a treatment that's not necessarily financially worth your time, don't do it. It kind of sounds bad, but like I said, you're a business after all.
There's an opportunity cost to your time to consider, right? If you're doing one thing, you can't be doing the other.
Yeah.
So, I hear that.
Like from business owners to business owners, I think we can probably have that discussion, like have that conversation, because it has to be, cafes aren't going to offer a piece of food that costs them so much and yet there's no markup on it. So why should we as well? I think number 3, because I'm going to do 3.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. Is pick a selection of treatments that work well together. So, you have collagen stimulation, you have volume replenishment. Work those two together to get an outcome that your patient then wants to come back for that. They want to come back and have that same experience, the same results.
Do you use devices in your clinic? Have you got machines?
No. So that's probably something that I think I've almost gone into. I've had the reps in the door. I've had it all, but I've not confidently put my foot down and said, yes, let's do it. I refer on for things like that. I have other people that I refer to. We're fully booked, so we don't have the capacity to necessarily need that.
And it's not necessarily about saying no to potentially bringing on other services or treatments in the future. But if it's not right for you right now, or you haven't found that thing that resonates that will help your patients, it's okay to not because everybody else is. Like, I think that's it. It's not just going, I'm never going to bring anything else and what I've got is great. It's being open-minded, but being confident in what your patients will want and need. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. No, this has been
what
great.
a great chat.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it, Kia, and I guess takeout for me was I think that I really enjoyed finding the confidence in what you want to deliver and letting that bring the type of patients who want that service rather than the other way around. It was a really good flip on that. It's not that you go fishing and then try to service the people that come in. It's the other way around. You create yourself as a value driver.
Yeah, the confidence for me, and that you're so clear on that and you back yourself and your team. I agree. I also love the traditional marketing as an option. Like, I think people can get really funneled into social media and media mediums. Can I say that twice? Media mediums.
Yeah.
But traditional marketing is not dead. Like, I think that's something worth exploring if you're in an area where that could be really beneficial. So, like, go out on a hot girl walk, find some benches and see if you can put some signs on there. Like, actually so smart. So,
I've heard people talking about radio quite positively as well, and I don't know.
Unfortunately, the radio ad out there, I had to record it myself when I went into the radio station, and it's, "Hi, I'm Kia Jonassy, founder of Blume Aesthetics."
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but good.
Well done. Congratulations on everything you've achieved, Kia. Thank you so much for flying over here from Perth.
No, it's been good. It's been great.
You're so
lovely to have you. Thanks very much for the chat.
awesome.